Picture this. Your heart is racing, palms sweating, and your mind feels like it's caught in a vice grip. The clock is ticking, and the world is pressing in on you. Demands, expectations, deadlines, and decisions piling up like a tsunami ready to crash. You're not just stressed, you're on the edge of breaking. Sound familiar? This is the crucible of modern life, where chaos reigns and only the sharpest minds survive. But what if I told you that this chaos, this pressure, isn't your enemy? What if it's the key to unlocking a version of yourself so powerful, so focused, so unstoppable that you could rewrite the rules of success itself? Welcome to the brain hack that rewires your mind for unstoppable success. This isn't just another self-help spiel or a collection of feel-good platitudes. This is a battle-tested system to transform your mind into a weapon of precision, clarity, and dominance. By the time we're done, you won't just navigate life's storms, you'll command them. You'll be 50% smarter, not in some abstract academic way, but in the raw practical intelligence that lets you outthink, outmaneuver, and outlast anyone in your path. This system, which I call Neural Mastery Protocol, is about more than quick fixes or temporary boosts. It's a complete rewiring of how you think, act, and succeed. It's about turning pressure into power, doubt into clarity, and obstacles into opportunities. Throughout history, the greatest minds, philosophers, generals, inventors, and visionaries used versions of this approach to conquer their worlds, and today, you'll learn how to do the same. Are you ready to stop surviving and start dominating? Let's dive in. Let's start with a truth most people shy away from. Pressure is the forge where greatness is made. The moments when you feel the most overwhelmed, the most uncertain, are the moments when your mind has the chance to evolve. Most people crumble under stress, they freeze, they panic, they make mistakes. But the elite, the ones who shape history, thrive in those moments. Why? Because they've trained their minds to turn chaos into clarity. Take Sun Tzu, the ancient Chinese strategist whose art of war remains a cornerstone of strategy 2,500 years later. He said, "In the midst of chaos, there is also opportunity." Sun Tzu didn't just see pressure as a threat, he saw it as a canvas for brilliance. His victories came not from brute force, but from a mind honed to find order in disorder, to see moves others couldn't. This is the first principle of the Neural Mastery Protocol. Embrace cognitive pressure. Step 1. Create cognitive pressure. Your brain is like a muscle. It grows stronger when you push it to its limits. Comfort is the enemy of growth. When life feels predictable, your mind stagnates, coasting on autopilot. But when you deliberately place yourself in high-stakes, uncomfortable situations, your brain wakes up. It shifts into overdrive, forging new neural pathways that make you sharper, faster, and more creative. Here's how to apply it. 1. Seek out intellectual sparring. Find someone smarter, more experienced, or more skilled than you and challenge them. Debate a colleague on a complex topic. Argue with a mentor who pushes you to defend your ideas. The discomfort of being outmatched forces your brain to stretch, to find new angles, to think deeper. 2. Take on high-stakes challenges. Choose a task where failure is a real possibility, but success would be transformative. Maybe it's pitching a bold idea to your boss, launching a side hustle, or mastering a skill that intimidates you. The key is to make the stakes personal. Your reputation, your future, or your pride should be on the line. 3. Step into the unknown. Deliberately put yourself in situations where you're out of your depth. Sign up for a public speaking gig if you're terrified of crowds. Negotiate a deal with someone who intimidates you. Learn a skill that feels alien, like coding or improv comedy. The unfamiliarity forces your brain to adapt, to problem solve on the fly. Let me tell you a story. In 1805, Admiral Horatio Nelson faced overwhelming odds at the Battle of Trafalgar. The French and Spanish fleets outnumbered his British Navy, and defeat would have meant the end of Britain's naval dominance. Most commanders would have played it safe, but Nelson did the opposite. He embraced the pressure, devising a daring strategy that broke every rule of naval warfare. He split his fleet into 2 columns and drove straight into the enemy line, a move so bold it shocked his opponents into disarray. Nelson's victory wasn't just tactical, it was psychological. He thrived in the chaos, turning pressure into his greatest ally. You don't need to command a navy to apply this. Every time you push yourself into a high-pressure situation, you're training your brain to perform at its peak. You're building what psychologists call stress inoculation, the ability to stay calm, focused, and creative when the stakes are high. Over time, what once felt overwhelming becomes your playground. Now that you've learned to embrace pressure, let's talk about the second pillar of the Neural Mastery Protocol: predictive intelligence. Imagine walking into a meeting, a negotiation, or a crisis, and already knowing how it's going to unfold. Not because you're psychic, but because you've trained your mind to see patterns, anticipate moves, and stay 3 steps ahead. This is the skill that separates the good from the great. Leonardo da Vinci, the ultimate Renaissance man, was a master of predictive intelligence. He didn't just paint masterpieces, he designed flying machines, war engines, and hydraulic systems centuries ahead of his time. How? By obsessively observing the world, nature, human behavior, mechanics, and connecting dots others couldn't see. Da Vinci once wrote, "Learn how to see, realize that everything connects to everything else." This is the essence of predictive thinking, seeing the invisible threads that shape outcomes. Step 2. Master predictive intelligence. Predictive intelligence isn't about guessing, it's about training your brain to analyze patterns and anticipate outcomes with precision. Here's how to build it. 1. Become a pattern detective. Start observing the world like a scientist. Notice how people behave in specific situations, their body language, tone, and word choices. Study how events unfold in your workplace, your social circle, or even global trends. The more data you collect, the better you'll get at spotting patterns. 2. Ask, what's next? Train yourself to constantly ask, what will happen next and how can I influence it? Before a meeting, predict how each person will react to your ideas. Before a project, map out potential obstacles and outcomes. The more you practice, the sharper your foresight becomes. 3. Simulate scenarios. Mentally rehearse high-stakes situations. If you're preparing for a negotiation, imagine every possible counter-argument and response. If you're launching a project, visualize every way it could go wrong and how you'll pivot. This mental simulation builds what psychologists call prospective memory, the ability to anticipate and prepare for future events. Let's look at a modern example. In 2008, when the global financial crisis hit, most investors panicked. But Warren Buffett, the Oracle of Omaha, saw opportunity. While others sold in fear, Buffett invested billions in companies like Goldman Sachs and General Electric, betting on their long-term recovery. His predictive intelligence, built on decades of studying market patterns, allowed him to see what others couldn't. The crisis was temporary, and the smart money was in staying calm. Those investments earned him billions in profits. You can apply this in your own life. Maybe you're navigating a tricky workplace dynamic, your boss is unpredictable, or a colleague is undermining you. By studying their patterns, when they're most receptive, what triggers their behavior, you can anticipate their moves and position yourself to win. Or maybe you're planning a career pivot. By analyzing industry trends and connecting the dots, you can predict where opportunities will emerge and get there first. The result? You'll start to feel like you're playing chess while others are playing checkers. You'll see moves before they happen, and you'll always be ready. The third pillar of the Neural Mastery Protocol is mental agility. In a world that's constantly shifting, new technologies, new challenges, new rules, clinging to a single plan is a recipe for failure. The most successful people aren't the ones with the best plan. They're the ones who can pivot, adapt, and innovate when the ground shifts beneath them. Consider the philosophy of Bruce Lee, the martial arts legend whose approach transcended fighting and became a blueprint for life. Lee famously said, "Be like water, formless, adaptable, and unstoppable. Water doesn't resist obstacles, it flows around them, finding new paths to its destination." This is mental agility, the ability to shift strategies, perspectives, and approaches without losing momentum. Step 3. Strengthen mental agility. Mental agility is about staying fluid in a rigid world. Here's how to train it. 1. Embrace shifting rules. Seek out tasks where the rules change unexpectedly, Play strategy games like chess or poker, where every move requires a new calculation. Work on projects with unpredictable variables, think startups, creative collaborations, or crisis management. These force your brain to adapt on the fly. 2. Argue both sides. Practice debating from opposing perspectives. Take a controversial topic, say remote work versus office work, and argue passionately for both sides. This trains your brain to see every angle, making you less rigid and more creative in your thinking. 3. Break your routine. Routines are mental comfort zones. Shake them up. Take a different route to work. Try a new hobby that challenges you, like improv or rock climbing. Change your daily schedule, work late one day, start early the next. These small disruptions keep your brain flexible. Let's look at a real-world example. In the early 2000s, Netflix was a DVD by mail company facing a looming threat: digital streaming. Most companies would have doubled down on their core business, but Reed Hastings, Netflix's CEO, saw the future. He pivoted the company towards streaming, investing heavily in a technology that was still unproven. When Blockbuster, Netflix's main rival, stuck to its brick-and-mortar model, it collapsed. Netflix's agility, its willingness to abandon a working strategy for an uncertain one, made it a global powerhouse. You can apply this in smaller ways. Maybe you're working on a project that's hitting roadblocks. Instead of forcing your original plan, step back and brainstorm 3 new approaches. Or maybe you're stuck in a career rut. Instead of grinding through, explore a lateral move or a new industry. The Agile Mind doesn't get stuck, it finds a way. The science backs this up. Neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to rewire itself, thrives on novelty and challenge. When you expose yourself to new experiences and problems, your brain forms new connections, making you more adaptable and creative over time. Mental agility isn't just a skill, it's a superpower. Now we move to the 4th pillar, strategic unpredictability. In any competitive environment, business, relationships, or life, predictability is a weakness. The moment others can anticipate your moves, they gain the upper hand. To stay in control, you must keep them guessing, always one step ahead. This idea echoes the wisdom of Niccolò Machiavelli, the 16th century political philosopher whose book, The Prince, remains a masterclass in power. Machiavelli wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be, few experience what you really are." The art of strategic unpredictability is about controlling perceptions, hiding your true intentions, and striking when least expected. Step 4. Dominate through unpredictability. Unpredictability doesn't mean acting erratically, it means mastering the art of strategic misdirection. Here's how to do it. 1. Defy expectations. Make choices that surprise others but align with your goals. If everyone expects you to play it safe, take a calculated risk. If they think you'll follow the usual playbook, rewrite it. These unexpected moves disrupt others' assumptions, giving you the upper hand. 2. Vary your patterns. Break routines that others might use to predict you. Change how you approach meetings, projects, or conversations. If you're usually direct, try subtlety. If you're typically reserved, show boldness. Keep others off balance by staying dynamic. 3. Conceal your intentions. Never reveal your full plan. Share just enough to keep others engaged, but keep your endgame hidden. A partially revealed strategy is often more disarming than silence. It lures others into false confidence. 4. Create false trails. Sometimes let others think they've figured you out. Drop hints that lead them down the wrong path while you execute your real strategy in the shadows. This is the art of psychological warfare. Control the narrative and you control the outcome. Consider Steve Jobs, whose unpredictable genius defined Apple's rise. In 2007, when the world expected Apple to focus on computers, Jobs unveiled the iPhone, a device that redefined technology. His secrecy and misdirection, keeping the project under wraps while competitors chased the wrong trends, gave Apple an unassailable lead. Jobs didn't just innovate, he dominated by keeping everyone guessing. You can apply this in your own life. In a negotiation, drop subtle hints that mislead your counterpart about your priorities, then pivot to your real goal. In a team project, keep your most innovative ideas under wraps until the perfect moment. Unpredictability makes you a wild card, a force that others can't counter. The fifth pillar is emotional intelligence, EQ, the secret weapon that turns intelligence into influence. Logic wins arguments, but EQ wins people. It's the ability to read emotions, understand motivations, and shape outcomes by connecting with others on a deeper level. Aristotle, the ancient Greek philosopher, understood this centuries ago. He wrote, "Anyone can become angry, that is easy, but to be angry with the right person, to the right degree, at the right time, for the right purpose, and in the right way, that is not easy." This is EQ in action, mastering emotions, yours and others, to achieve your goals. Step 5. Harness emotional intelligence. EQ is about understanding and influencing the emotional currents in any situation. Here's how to build it. 1. Decode subtle cues. Train yourself to notice micro-expressions, tone shifts, and body language. A clenched jaw might signal stress, a quick glance away might hint at deceit. The more you observe, the better you'll understand people's true feelings. 2. Master active listening. Listen not to respond, but to understand. Pay attention to what's said, what's unsaid, and the emotions behind the words. When people feel heard, they trust you, and trust is power. 3. Control your emotions. Self-awareness is the foundation of EQ. Identify your triggers and practice staying calm under pressure. When you master your emotions, you can project confidence, empathy, or authority as needed. 4. Influence strategically. Use your understanding of others' emotions to guide their decisions. Inspire trust to rally a team. Show empathy to diffuse conflict. Use subtle cues to nudge someone toward your perspective. EQ lets you shape outcomes without force. Let's look at Oprah Winfrey, whose EQ made her a global icon. Oprah didn't just interview people, she connected with them. Her ability to read emotions, ask the right questions, and create trust turned her talk show into a cultural phenomenon. She didn't dominate through force, she dominated through understanding. You can apply this daily. In a tense meeting, notice who's frustrated and address their concerns to win their support. In a negotiation, mirror your counterpart's tone to build rapport. EQ makes you not just smarter, but dangerously persuasive. The final pillar is the 72-hour reflection rule, a disciplined approach to turning experiences into wisdom. After every major win or loss, step back for 72 hours. This pause lets your subconscious process, connect dots, and uncover insights you'd miss in the heat of the moment. Albert Einstein, whose theory of relativity reshaped physics, was a master of reflective thinking. He once said, "We cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them." Einstein's breakthroughs often came during quiet moments of reflection when he let his mind wander and synthesize ideas. Step 6. Apply the 72-hour reflection rule. Here's how to make reflection a superpower. 1. Sleep on big decisions. Before finalizing a major choice, give yourself 72 hours. Sleep, relax, and let your subconscious work. You'll often wake up with clearer insights or new ideas. 2. Analyze wins and losses. After a significant event, ask, what worked, what failed, what could I do differently? Write down your thoughts to crystallize lessons. 3. Explore alternatives. Even if your approach succeeded, brainstorm other strategies. This builds flexibility and prepares you for future challenges. 4. Journal your insights. Keep a reflection journal to track patterns over time. What recurring themes emerge? What blind spots do you need to address? Consider Jeff Bezos, who used reflection to build Amazon. In the early days, when Amazon was bleeding money, Bezos didn't react impulsively. He stepped back, analyzed trends, and bet on long-term growth over short-term profits. That reflective discipline turned Amazon into a trillion-dollar empire. Apply this in your life. After a big presentation, don't just move on, reflect on what resonated and what flopped. After a career setback, analyze what led to it and how you can pivot. The 72-hour rule turns every experience into a stepping stone to mastery. Let's bring this to life with a story. Meet Sarah, a 32-year-old marketing manager who felt stuck. Her ideas were ignored, her promotion stalled, and she was drowning in stress. Then she discovered the Neural Mastery Protocol. She started with cognitive pressure, pitching a risky campaign to her CEO. The stakes were high, but the challenge forced her to sharpen her ideas and deliver with confidence. The campaign was a hit, earning her respect. Next, she practiced predictive intelligence, studying her team's dynamics and anticipating conflicts before they arose. By addressing tensions early, she became the go-to problem solver. With mental agility, Sarah pivoted when her strategies hit roadblocks, experimenting with new approaches that kept her ahead of competitors. Her unpredictability, like unveiling bold ideas at unexpected moments, kept her colleagues guessing and gave her an edge. Her emotional intelligence transformed her leadership. By reading her team's emotions and building trust, she turned a fractured group into a powerhouse. Finally, the 72-hour reflection rule helped her learn from every success and setback, making her strategy sharper each time. Within a year, Sarah wasn't just promoted, she was headhunted by a rival firm for a C-suite role. She didn't just survive her challenges, she dominated them. The Neural Mastery Protocol isn't about small improvement, it's about transformation. By embracing cognitive pressure, you'll thrive in chaos. Predictive intelligence will make you a visionary. Mental agility will keep you adaptable. Unpredictability will make you untouchable. Emotional intelligence will give you influence. And the 72-hour reflection rule will turn every experience into wisdom. This is your challenge. Pick one pillar and commit to it for 7 days. Push yourself into discomfort, track your progress, then come back and share what changed. The world rewards those who act, who sharpen their minds, who refuse to settle. You're not here to play small, you're here to dominate. So take the first step today. The world is waiting and it won't know what hit it.